Welcome to the Segmenter 101 project. This video will go over the definition of flashing segments and ways to reduce this by using and creating merge segment cuts. As we cut the video for video 3 in this series, let's cover the term flashing and then use some merge segments to fix the problem. As we segment, sometimes we'll have a gap between our segments. When the gap is too small, we get a flash on the screen for the viewer. So what does it look like to the segmenter? Well, here's an example of a gap that would produce a flash. Notice that as we move from one segment to the next, the cut a segment turns on. This means that Vicky thinks that there is room there for an additional segment, so it will remove the dialog box from the screen. It also means that the next segment may be late returning to the screen as Vicky adds the dialog box back, which creates the flash for the viewer. For the viewer, the words will suddenly leave the screen, then jump back on just as suddenly. This is distracting to the viewer because it disrupts their reading and causes their eyes to be drawn down to the subtitles instead of fluidly viewing the video. There are a couple of ways to fix this. Let's use a merge segment to start with. We do this by using the Shift and spacebar together as we cut the video instead of two spacebar taps to lay the ends of our segments. This tells Vicky that there is a segment break, but that there is not a gap between the segments, so the dialog box should not come off the screen. Another way is to move the edges of the segment together so that they form a merged segment. To do this, we move the edges of two side-by-side segments closer to each other until they touch or overlap. When we move the edge of the segment we are working on to the point where the edge of the other segment moves as we move the end of the segment, the software has attached them and they have merged. When we look at these merged segments, they will appear as one line or as an overlap like this. You know that they are merged when the edges are no longer able to move away from each other without dragging the other segment's end with it, and the cut a segment does not come on between segments. Next in this series, we'll cover the term flyby and reviews the guidelines for how long a segment is recommended to be.